Hello and welcome. Recently, a friend of mine asked me if I had any recipes for a holiday dinner made using a microwave. He and his family are temporarily stuck living in a motel for reasons out of their control. After 2 weeks of testing and tuning the recipes, I managed to make both a turkey and a stuffing that are actually pretty good. So, I present to you a holiday dinner from a microwave. I will link to my mashed potatoes recipe from a microwave video in the description. You'll also need a meat thermometer. Any of them will do, even the cheapest one. You just need it for the turkey. Sadly, I did not manage to make an acceptable gravy, so that would end up being store-bought, unfortunately. And with that, let's get to the ingredients. For our turkey, we will need 1 turkey breast. This is the one that I used for most of my tests, but the recipe will work with any boneless or bone-in turkey breast. And in addition to that, we're going to need a half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon pepper, and 1 teaspoon garlic powder. For the stuffing, we need 6 slices of stale sandwich bread, 3/4 of a cup of broth, 2 tablespoons melted butter, 1 tablespoon dehydrated minced onions, 1 teaspoon celery flakes, 1/4 teaspoon Italian seasoning, 1/4 teaspoon garlic powder, a half a teaspoon pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon paprika. That one's optional. Alright, with our stuffing, we have the easiest job in the world. We want to melt our butter and then mix it with all the ingredients except the bread cubes. Leave the mixture to stand for about 10 minutes. Once all of our mixture is rehydrated, we want to pour it over our bread cubes in a microwave-safe container and just pour it very slowly over the top. Stir that for a minute or two to make sure everything is mostly covered, and into the microwave for 5 minutes it goes. If you like your stuffing dry, use a shallow container with no lid or cover. If you like a wetter stuffing, you will want either a taller, skinnier container or covering the top with a lid or a microwave-safe cling wrap. Once the 5 minutes is up, take it out, give it a good stirring to break up the clumps, and let it cool for about 10 minutes. And with that, we have our stuffing. Super quick and easy from the microwave, and it actually holds up well to this when compared to the store-bought stuff. Now, on to our turkey. So the turkey that I thought would turn out to be terrible actually surprised me a lot. Now, I imagined it would be super dry or rubbery, but instead, what drying it did do worked out great for us, and rubbery never happened, so it just vastly outperformed my expectations. So, the first thing you'll need to do is rub our turkey with the salt, pepper, and garlic and let it stand for about 20 minutes at room temperature. This is going to let the salt soak in a little bit, and it's going to add a layer of flavor and help the outside do its magic when it's actually cooking. Once our 20 minutes are up, we are ready to go in the microwave. You will need to microwave the turkey breast on high for 8 minutes per pound to start it. So most of mine were about 3.2-ish pounds in weight, so about 26 to 28 minutes or so on average. Once this is done, you will need to continue microwaving, this time on power level 5 for 8 minutes at a time until the breast is about 165 degrees. When tested in multiple areas with a thermometer, rotate the breast every time you check for the temperature. Most of mine took 3 8-minute cycles, but there was one that took 4, thus why a thermometer is needed just to make sure everything's fully done. Now, while that rotates in the background, let's talk about why this accidentally works. The turkey breast actually does begin to dry out, but since the outer layer dries faster and gets covered in the residue of the meat juices being evaporated on the surface, it ends up forming an almost crust-like layer that ends up actually trapping a lot of moisture in during the first serving. Sadly, this does not help when it comes to leftovers. As leftovers, it's going to end up being about at the same dryness level as your typical turkey lunch meat. So you should probably use that as an ingredient in something rather than a dish itself if you have any leftovers. And with that, we've actually made a pretty decent holiday meal just using a microwave. And while the turkey does get a bit dry the next day, it is pretty good in pot pies and such. And honestly, it makes a pretty decent sandwich, so it's pretty easy to make sure none of that goes to waste. The stuffing is also super easy, and it will probably make it in my normal weeknight dinner routine. As always, I would like to thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day and a great meal.